Hello, I'm Shelley Stern-Grage with Microsoft, and I want to welcome you again to Civic Chat, Networking Our Neighborhoods, and you can follow us on meetadvisors.com. Today our guest is Rod Levy with Code Platoon. Rod, thanks so much for coming. Great to have you today.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. So I understand Code Platoon is a new program that's under development, and we're so excited to have you here today at the early stages of what you're building. Can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Sure. So Code Platoon is going to be an immersive, on-site educational program. We will teach veterans, so our population is veterans, how to go from knowing nothing about software development to being junior software developers when they're done.
Wow, that is really exciting. So you've got this targeted audience of veterans, and you're really focusing on developing their software skills, correct?
Yes, not only just developing their software skills, you can go to a lot of different sites and you can learn a lot about software development on your own, but to actually become hireable, you need to meet a certain threshold. And we will get you to that threshold. We're modeled after a couple of the programs that have been doing this successfully for a few years, notably Dev Bootcamp, where I attended a few years ago. And so we've seen that their model has been very successful in taking people who don't know anything about software, and then over the course of 4 very intense months, I'm talking 80 hours a week of programming, in a flipped classroom setting. So there's some instruction, and then a lot of time spent hands-on, learning to code, learning best practices. And these people get very good placement rates in really what are some of the best career options out there today.
That's absolutely terrific, because we all know how much of a need there is for software development skills. So tell me, when they finish their 4 months, do they get a certificate, or what kind of credentials do they get?
So typically these programs don't have any kind of specific credential or certificate.
Really? Okay.
Really what matters more is, did you learn the skills you need? And employers can readily verify. Yes, you know how to perform a certain type of algorithm, you know what certain industry best practices are, and this is something that is fairly readily knowable by an interviewer.
That's terrific. And you're going to be based in Chicago, is that right?
That's right.
Okay, and what about your target veteran audience? Will you be doing outreach beyond Chicago, or pretty much starting in the city area itself?
So we're going to look to have most of our population be in the Chicagoland area. They will have to be on site for these 4 months. So we expect that there will be some people who will travel to Chicago for this program. One of the differentiators between this program and most of the other programs is that we are nonprofit. Most of the other ones are for-profit. But moreover, we will be subsidizing the cost of this program. So most of the programs that are like this cost somewhere between $7,000 to $15,000, and we'll be charging $1,500, and we'll subsidize it.
So that is a huge difference, and that's a very strong differentiator for you compared to other programs, and obviously a very important message for your target audience. How do you plan to raise the funds to help subsidize?
Well, we'll be working on the fundraising on the back end, but we also are looking to have corporate partners.
Corporate partners,
so,
great.
A couple of other organizations that have had success being nonprofits and working with these with a specific population. One in particular in Seattle that does this for women, and their model has been to have corporations partner with their organization. The corporations provide some funding, they provide some mentorship, and probably most importantly, they provide an internship opportunity at the end of the 4 months, so that in their case women, and in our case veterans, they will have an opportunity to be working alongside professional software developers, honing their skills, and getting ready to launch their careers.
So I think that's really interesting what you just brought up. Obviously the funding, corporate or smaller business, or I'm sure you'll take money from individuals who might be interested.
Absolutely will.
But also this notion of mentoring and internship. Can you give me a little bit more information on what mentoring might look like?
Sure. So the mentoring program will typically involve 2 mentors per student, and they will come on site once a week per mentor, and they'll have anywhere between 1 to 4 hours with their mentor. Mentor will be an industry professional. They'll be able to help them understand what the career path looks like. They'll be able to help them work through the coding challenges they're going through. They'll be somebody that they can use as a reference within the community.
And so it is this combination of, I'll call it the software development skills as well as the career coaching.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And then talk to us a little bit about the internships. How long might they last? What type of roles are you looking for?
So we expect that when they're done to learn
entry
level, but productive. And so internships will typically be one where they come in and they will get assistance from the employer in terms of getting some coding challenge work, learning maybe the platform of the employer, but they'll be doing real work. They'll be doing production work. They'll be helping the team be productive. They'll come ready to be an involved member of the team. They'll understand certain industry practices like how to be involved in an agile team. So that's a specific work approach. They'll understand how to problem solve on their own. They'll know how to break down a problem so that there isn't a lot of hand-holding that will be required from the corporation.
So they get somebody ready to work. So that's terrific.
Absolutely.
Talk to us then a little bit about your timeline. This is a new concept. It's beyond the concept stage, actually. You're well into it. But what's your timeline for 2015 and 2016?
So we right now are just taking names for people who are interested. They can go to the website, codeplatoon.org, and look at some of the information. They can put their name down. We're collecting a list. Within another month or two, we expect to send out applications.
Great.
And then once the applications are complete, once we've selected our cohort, we expect to have a cohort of somewhere between 12 to 20 veterans. And then once that cohort is selected, they can expect to get a packet of prep work sometime in the early fall. And then the prep work will take them somewhere between 80 to 130 hours to complete.
Really?
But we expect they're going to have 2 to 3 months to do it. We don't expect them to finish it in the course of 2 weeks. And then we'd actually like to have them be on site sometime at the end of fall or the beginning of winter. We haven't set the timeline exactly yet.
So timing is really perfect right now. If somebody is interested in this and joining Code Platoon, they should go to your website, which is www.codeplatoon.org.
You got it. Yep.
And they can start getting more information and signing up. Is there anything else you want to tell people about ways to get in touch with you or ways to follow you on Twitter or anything like that?
I mean, you can follow us at Code Platoon, or you can go to our Facebook. But really, the best reference point for us online is to go to the website. It has all the information that you might want. It also has my contact information if you have specific questions. As an aside, I haven't really mentioned this, but we probably will be taking applications for veteran spouses as well.
That's great.
That is something we need to resolve with our corporate sponsors. So if you are a veteran or if you're the spouse of a veteran and you have been honorably discharged, then go to the website, you can put your name, send us your email address, and then when applications go out, we will reach out to you and let you know.
That's terrific. Rod, thank you so much. It's such an exciting venture. We really hope that you're going to be very, very successful, and thanks for doing it in Chicago.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.